Alright, I was just taking a shower and I started thinking about these ideas. And I think some other people around the world might be struggling with the same thing, especially with the lack of documentation. So I wanted to talk about a system involving complex MCP servers and clients and how you can handle basically infinite tools and help the AI use those tools properly. So to give a little overview, I started with this MCP server that has 20 to 50 tools. I really don't know. I haven't counted them, but I was basically passing all these tools to the AI. I was actually just using a ChatGPT connector, giving it the MCP server. It would get all the tools, and it basically would just call random tools at random times because it was getting overloaded with information. So I realized I had to build my own custom LLM client or conversation state handler, MCP client. And what I ended up doing is making modes. So I have big modes and then the actual modes inside of those modes. Um, the big modes are dependent on site navigation, so where the user is on the site. So say the user is in their profile, they'll be getting the profile mode shown to them. Let's say they're in a workspace area, which on my site is called tree. They'll be getting the tree mode shown to them. So on my site, the home modes are default, raw idea placement, and reflect. And then you have a ton of tree modes. And I'll open up one of these modes so you can see. So as you can, it sets a custom system instructions, and every time the mode switches, it's a completely new conversation state. So it's only focused on this one thing. Limited tools, limited system instructions, and it can do what it does in that mode. So as you can see, I'm in home mode right here. I'm going to go to tree mode, so I'm going to enter a tree view, and now you can see all my tree tools. So one problem that I had was with all these modes, you have the user giving a chat message, and you have the option to either let the user choose their mode manually, which can add a layer of complexity for people, or you can try to determine the intent of the message and switch to the appropriate mode um, before it's registered and requested. So I decided to go with both of those options for now. But I was thinking to determine the intents to find the mode, I would need another LLM to basically look at it and reason and use generative intelligence. But then I started realizing that these statements that the users put in are just flat sentence structures. There's no generative side. You just need to look at the words that are in the sentence and you can kind of determine the mode they're going for. So like if I said where is, it's pretty obvious the user is trying to find a navigate mode. So like I'll go into the structure mode, and if I say where is the part about ingredients, it automatically will switch to navigate mode because it can infer the intent from the sentence structure. But this is all working well and good, and I have multiple modes now that can do unique things and complete their tasks a lot more reliably. But there's one massive issue. I can only be in one mode per request. So this is where I am at now, and I'm realizing that I am going to have to build an orchestration layer that basically sits between the user request and the modes, and it will take the user request, orchestrate a plan using multiple different modes, and basically call individual chat channels for each mode, but keep the overall plan in the higher context conversation state, or in the higher context LLM orchestrator. That way it can navigate through multiple different modes and come up with the final response for the user. So if the user said, look through my tree, find this, and do that, as of now, it would only be able to look through the tree, and it would stop at the end of that response because it can't switch to the next mode. But after adding this orchestrator, it would go from navigate to gain context to edit and then like back to user assistance mode or whatever, and it would be able to chain multiple modes together and make very complex reasoning structures that you cannot really get with one LLM message.